On to the part of VR Sports Powerboat Racing. This time we're going to go through and do the rest of arcade of these boats. I'm going to use energy for the Pike stuff. For Barracuda, we're using the VR Sports Boat. And I'm going to use the VR Sports Boat for all of Championship because, quite frankly, I don't trust this shit anymore considering what I had to experience here. So, I am combining both of these together. And I will cut in the stuff for Pike alongside the ship for Barracuda. But I just want to really show off the AI here and not only how difficult they've now become because of these boats and difficulties, but also just how much of a dickhead this game is going to be to us. Because these boats are a lot more prone to being bumped around, and in all honesty, the AI is a lot more aggressive than they were before. It's actually surprising me how much more aggressive they are. So, let's talk about that right now for a second, okay? So here we are, I'm doing the race, the first race of the game. As you can see, the AI here is being a bit of a problem. They are giving me a bit of issue. You know, they're really pushing in and everything like that. This kind of shit is kind of what I expect from Barracuda beforehand. Pike does have its moments like that, but Barracuda was a lot worse about it. And it does feel more Barracuda here than it does Pike. And I feel that might have to actually do with the boats themselves. I feel like the boats are actually a lot more of a fucking douche move with the AI than what we got beforehand of this game. So, like, we have here the, you know, the regular sort of races. You've done the race beforehand in the last part with these boats. But there was some awkwardness with the steering, and, you know, the speed was pretty fast in a way. I wasn't noticing it beforehand, but as I was doing Pike, and especially Barracuda, yeah, everything is faster and kind of more hard to control compared to our regular boats. So, this made this quite a challenge. This made this kind of a bit worrisome, all things considered. And the biggest worry is the AI, because the AI is just unrelenting. They are absolute dickheads. And also, I forgot that it's lap 4 that changes, not lap 3 for Pike. But, yeah, like, I'm not a huge fan of what I was experiencing here. I'm not a huge fan of, like, just how much of a dickhead this game was going to be here. Because you've already experienced how much of a dickhead the game was being already. But now it's just being worse. It's now being a lot more harsher to me with these boats. And that's a problem because the game was already being pretty harsh. You know, it didn't need to go any further. But, oh my fucking god, was it being douchey. And also, you might be able to notice that whenever I turn in the air, I'm kind of veering a bit. Beforehand, that would kind of look like the animation of veering thing, but ultimately look like all straight, all the way through. With these boats, they're kind of like moving left and right in the air. You know, they're kind of like tilting. So, yeah, it's kind of interesting that's happening, and I'm wondering if that's a bad thing, if I can tilt too much in this game, but so far I haven't seen that happen to me, so I think we're good. But yeah, as you can see, the AI is unfucking relenting on being a dickhead, and it's gonna get worse than Barracuda. We already know how fucking hard Barracuda is, and we're going to see that when we get to the next race. Because next race, I'm switching to Barracuda. The way I'm doing it is for races 1, 3, and 5, you're getting Pike. For everything else, you are getting Barracuda. So you're getting kind of the easy ones that I can manage for and have no issue with out of the way with these, you know, the Pike stuff. But on Barracuda, the hard difficulty, you're getting the harder shit. You're going to see just how bad they can really get. You're going to see the real struggles. I can see the AI is still being quite douchey with its own, you know, fucking best laps and such at times. But yeah, here we are in Barracuda now. We are in Norway. We're using the Catamaran still. We are using the VR sports boat here. And you're going to see how much more faster this is compared to Barracuda with the other boats.
3, 2, 1, go!
So off they go, and immediately they start trying to attack me in a way, and as you can see, we're already going through all these ramps and such. And we're going really fucking fast. And also my computer isn't able to handle it much. But yeah, fuck, we're going like really fucking quick. And not only that, but the AI, all of the AI are able to catch up. In a weird way, for some reason, when it comes to these boats, on Barracuda, the AI, even on like 5th place, is a fucking problem. Like, they are sticking together for a good amount of the race. And it actually makes them all a danger to me. Because they can all fuck me over. And that's definitely happening. Like, there's definitely a lot of, like, fuckery going on with this. And what's worse is, of course, the AI is cheating. You can see the AI has, like, near perfect control of the steering when they're not going into walls like that. Like, they just sort of, like, jump over in their turn. They don't, like, you know, steer like we have to. They just jump directly in, perfectly fine. Like, right there, you can see it. But, their AI is hitting into walls kind of on purpose, because I'm guessing developers knew this would be too dickish. So they want to make it more fair by just, you know, having them hit walls a little bit, just to slow them down. But even when they hit walls, they're not slowing down that much, and they immediately get back to full speed in, like, no fucking time. And not only that, but the worst part is because of the rubber banding, they are going at speeds that are impossible for the player to actually beat. Impossible for them to actually get to. And this is coupled with the fact that they are going to be, at a certain distance, just going full speed ahead if you're too far behind them. So, yeah, the game is being an asshole. And even when you're right next to them, they're going to be an absolute asshole. So, no matter what, there is this massive balancing act of hell going on. And it's making a lot of these races, especially on Barracuda, an absolute fucking nightmare. I was really worried when I was doing the race for Barracuda, because remember, we got mines, and we didn't get that until the end of Barracuda on arcade for our last boats. But we have it now, so I was worried that we will have to do mines as well, that this would be extended. You'll see that my fears aren't needed, but, yeah, for the most part, I'm just showing you all the stuff here that, you know, we're going to be getting for doing this again, and just giving you a showcase of how difficult this is. And you might have also been noticing that our lap records, I think we're beating every single lap record I've ever had. Like, we're going so fucking fast now that VR Sports is literally the most fastest boat in the game. It's the best one. And even then, the AI sticks very close to me. And sometimes they'll be faster than me. They'll be able to beat my fucking times no problem. The AI still cheats. But their scores don't count. Their times don't count. So, even though they're fucking cheating, I'm still winning this, and my times are still going through.
3, 2, 1, go! Way to go!
And for the most part, it's not the worst thing in the fucking world. You know? I mean, yeah, it's really fast. Like, it can be pretty hard to even, you know, handle the speed that we're going in Barracuda. Like, if you aren't, like, very reactionary, if you're not, like, you know, you don't have the reaction time to really handle a lot of this bullshit, you're gonna get fucked a lot, because these boats, they speed, man. They fucking go. But the problem is that the steering is still fucked, and in all honesty, the steering is becoming no different to when I have it all the way veered up, when I am doing Barracuda with these boats. When I have it veered down, I am not noticing a difference. I still think the steering is incredibly stiff and very slow. So even with all this speed, I honestly feel like I'm getting fucked here. And again, my computer keeps freezing up, my computer keeps having issues. You know, I got a new computer though, so I'm considering doing these recordings from there to here when it comes to PS1 games and such. But yeah, like right now, I'm just going through that main computer right now and just taking care of what I have to do here. But you can kind of tell that the fucking steering is starting to not really be any different in how it's, you know, working out compared to before. Like right now, there's still a semblance of me having more control when I'm, you know, having my nose down. Like, I am still noticing it in Pike, but in Barracuda for these boats, not a fucking chance. I am not noticing any difference. I feel like I am actually having my steering get worse as I go to hard difficulties. And again, the AI is a lot more fucking aggressive now. They are a lot more douchey in this game than they were in any other boat or difficulty. They are a lot more threatening to me. They want to beat the fuck out of me. And as I was doing Pike and going into the final fucking race with Pike, Amazon, I had to do an attempt too because the AI kept bashing me into fucking walls. It was fucked. The AI kept trying to fight with me. And I'd show you that, but quite frankly, you'll see that in the Barracuda stuff. It doesn't change. They are still aggressive in all these difficulties, really. It's just that how aggressive they are depends on difficulty. And I feel like on Barracuda, they are at their absolute fucking worst. But I really felt it bad on Pike. And I started fearing about these fucking boats because they were not gonna let up. They were not going to play fair or nice. They were going to fucking ram into me. And they were not gonna stop. And of course, the fucking third place boat really trying hard to beat my time there, to really make me feel like I'm a piece of shit. Thanks, game. Thanks for that. Now it's time for Nevada, which I'm doing in Barracuda. You already know that Nevada and Amazon are, to me, the hardest tracks in the game so far. They are fucked to get through. The AI is at its absolute worst in these, and they really have been fucking making this worse with these boats. So, obviously, as you can tell, the problems were already beginning, because as you can tell, I'm in 6, and I'm having a bit of a hard time getting upwards. Having a bit of a hard time actually reaching them. I can only reach them during these turns here. Because on straight aheads, they do somewhat go up to my speed or even faster than that. They just... During this and Amazon, they do not fucking care about rubber banding. They are just going. So it becomes a fight in these two levels, and it fucking sucks. It really fucking sucks. And again, we're on arcade. You have to be first in every race in arcade. You only get 2 attempts to get first in arcade. If you are second or lower and you fail to get first twice, they kick you out and you have to do the whole thing all over again. We saw it. We saw it in one of the videos here on how they're acting with this. Also, I actually managed to turn that time. Amazing. That was my first time actually doing that, I think, on Barracuda. But yeah, like... Oh god, I was on full panic mode during this, and I was actually considering maybe save stating in the middle of these races. Because Amazon and Arizona here were just that much of a fucking problem to me. I found them to be too hard, in fact. But I held back from doing that for Barracuda. I didn't hold back with Pike. All the shit I knew I was going to cut out, I did use save states, but surprisingly, I did not have to reload any states that I saved. Like, I would save state, but I would never really load state. I actually did complete all the races, including the one where I had to do an attempt to. I did manage that, but just barely. And yeah, I am just not a fan. I'm just not a fan of how douchey this game is. And the worst part is that even though it's starting to get similar and kind of boring now in a way, you know, this is up there as being the best of the Hydro Thunder clones. Like, yeah, it's bullshit. And it can get boring, because you're repeating the same shit over and over again. But ultimately, I mean, it has kept itself, you know, interesting. It has changed things every time. Like, you get these boats and you're like, oh great, new boats. I'm betting they're going to be the exact same as the ones we've been using. But no, the AI changes from this shit. The AI changes on these boats. They get more aggressive. And the speed is a lot more faster. It's a lot more difficult to actually manage getting through these tracks so fast. So, there is more going on. And I like that. I like that it's not, you know, a nothing thing. We are getting more out of this game. The only issue is that, fuck, the sensitivity of these boats really suck. You might not have noticed for a while. I'm pretty sure there was one or two occurrences of it. But if I am just, like, slightly tapping any of these CPUs, there's a random chance the game just boots me to left and right. Like, I'm not trying to ram into them, but just touching them, just fucking touching them, can randomly make me veer like crazy. The boats here are a lot more sensitive than what we had beforehand. And the worst part is I can't combat against them. They can really push at me, and you'll see it in this part just how fucking insane the pushing can be. But I managed to get first here, and so far you might have been noticing, I'm pretty sure this is the first, but every single race we're going to be doing, my best lap time is going to be under a minute. And it's going to be times that I don't think were ever easy beforehand. And also, fuck you in these times. Fuck you, game. Anyway, now it's time for England. Now it's time for what England's going to give us a Pike. And honestly, I'm going to be fine with this. You know?
Ready?
It's the England level. It's the one of the great music. I'm not going to lose in these. Even though, as you can tell, the AI is really trying hard to beat the shit out of me here. That they were all ramming into me. And now I'm fucking... Like, look at this. I'm trying to ram them. I can't do shit. They can ram me and make me push me all the way over they wanted to. And you're going to see in the Japan level, there's an instance where they really showcase how weak you are and how unbelievably fucking, like, strong they are against you. Like, it gets dumb. But as you can see, I'm gonna make it through this. I'm gonna get first. But one other thing is that this and, you know, the last level, you know, the one of the circuit thing, both of these I'm always able to really be far ahead against the competition, you know? Even on Barracuda of the last boats, I can do that. And on Pike, I sort of can. I am getting fucked about, but I sort of can, you know, get that boost still. Barracuda's a different story. Like, I can be a good amount ahead in this, in Pike, but in Barracuda, they actually stay close behind me. Like, the magnetism of these fuckers is a lot more stronger. Like, they are right up my ass a lot more. And you're gonna see in our last track it's gonna be like that as well, because every other time in, I think it was Monaco, I think it was, like every other time on that I was like 6 minutes ahead or so. You know, I was really far ahead every time when it came to the Monaco track. You're gonna see that's not the case with these boats on Barracuda. Because we can't do this on Pike, we can't do it on Minnow, we can only do this on Barracuda for arcade, so yeah. But as you can see, I am getting ahead right now. But remember, the game can pull some bullshit. The game can just open a door behind me for no good fucking reason. And they kind of did in Barracuda. They didn't here, luckily, but they kind of did in Barracuda. So that did hurt me there as well. But even if I didn't have that happen, I only had like 2 or 3 minutes, like 2 or 3 seconds behind me every time. They were sticking by. Here on Pike though, you're getting the usual of like, they are like 5 seconds behind me and shit. They are far behind me. I'm way ahead of the competition. And it's because of this bit here. But on Barracuda, the AI honestly starts cheating with the turns with these things. They basically just teleport in a way to their next turn. They start doing that. And that's fucking cheap. But fuck, if it's not something I was expecting with this game. But yeah, I managed to get through this like 7 seconds at best. And yeah. And I have to wait a little bit for the music. Bam! Could've gotten bammed again then. But yeah, there you go, that was Pike. And even though I'm not showing the Barracuda stuff, I'm sorry. You'll see how bad it gets when we get to Barracuda stuff, because we're about to now. From here on out, it's only Barracuda now. Starting with the Amazon. Arizona gives me issues. But I do have a fighting chance in points.
Ready?
Amazon, I feel like it's almost luck. Like, you're about to see why. But as you can see, everyone behind me is going faster than me. And they're just ramming into me and giving me shit. And look, I'm already 6. And much in the fashion of this, it takes me a while to get back out of 6. Because they are almost the same speed as me. And they really get in my way too. See, again, Barracuda is really showcasing how much of a dick it is. It is really showcasing how fucking mean this game is gonna be. And as you can see from all of that, for most of the race, the best I could really get is 4th, and I got a lap record. I beat the lap record, and I'm only 4th. I think that's gonna showcase to you how more douchey the AI is here. How much more intensely bullshit they're being. Like, this shit is just not fun. But yeah, as you can see, I'm trying my best here. I'm trying my very best to get through this crap and not get fucked. And it's really easy for them to fuck me. Still lap record. I'm still beating the record. But they're going faster than me. They're being better than me. The lap record means nothing when the AI is kicking my fucking ass. And they are cheating. You can see it right here, in fact, that one boat, that he's just kind of teleporting on his next turn and such. They aren't turning correctly, like I am. They're just fucking, like, skipping to the next turn. They're jumping about. Like, right there, you might have noticed it then. They are 100% jumping about on their turns. And that's just bullshit. And yeah, I got the lap record again. 52:40. I think that's really fucking fast for this track. In all honesty. But again, the AI, they're probably gonna beat my fucking time regardless. Because the AI does not give a shit. The AI just... Look at that. I was barely touching that one boat and I just went flying to the right then. These boats are so much more sensitive. It's so much more easy to get just kicked around. So yeah, these boats are harder. But I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna get through with the championship ship with these boats. And the way I'm gonna do it championship is I'm going to do like I'm gonna show off the difficulties with Pike. You know, the first one, Minnow, for the first 3 tracks. Pike shows up with the next 3 tracks of this, Arizona and shit in England, with those difficulties. And then, you know, the rest of this will be Barracuda, difficulties all the way to hard. Mines will stay hard with Barracuda, and, you know, moving on from there. But yeah, as you can see, I got fairly lucky. I got a really good run, honestly. 51.52 is nothing to laugh at. That's a really good time, honestly, for what I did. And what did the AI get against me? What was their best time against mine? Thank God they actually kept, you know, they didn't try to go 50 seconds. You know, they didn't try to do that bullshit. I got compact, give mini boats. I think you're starting to notice something, right? Because this is the Pike reward, by the way. This is just showing off the Pike shit right now. Yeah. Now it's time for all Barracuda. So, here we go. Here's the salon I've unlocked again. And here's Japan. I want you to watch this. I want you to watch the moment where the AI gets super aggressive, because they do get aggressive in this one too. I can still fight against them fairly well, but with these boats on Barracuda, they are more aggressive and difficult to deal with than they've ever been in this level. Like right now, look at this! I'm fucking turning, and he's pushing me on my side. Just... I couldn't get out of that. Until he turned away, I could not get out of his pushing. So yeah. That should tell you everything you need to know. That should tell you every single fucking thing of how unrelentingly bullshit this game's gonna be. The difficulty here is fucked. The AI are bullshit here. And I'm gonna fucking nail it on the championship. I'm gonna get through and beat these assholes on the championship. All the crap done. But yeah, it's insane. It's really fucking insane how this is working out. But you might be noticing that the rewards I'm getting so far, I thought the first code we got was new. I don't think it's new. However, even though it's stuff we've already gotten, the order of it's different. So that's strange to me. I think mini boats I got with Barracuda, I think. Either that or with Minnow. Could have gone in a Pike, but you gotta see that the reward I get here is also the same with Barracuda. I already know I got the one there. So yeah, it's really interesting that even though I'm going through and I'm experiencing these boats on arcade and shit, doing the boats here on arcade I don't think does anything. Like, I don't think you ever need to do arcade at the other boats. I'll show it off anyway, but yeah, I think you can go through without having to do arcade of these boats. I think if you've done all of arcade with the first set of boats, you got everything. And you'll see why. You'll see why soon. But yeah, you can really see the... Like, I just tapped that motherfucker and he pushed me. I got pushed, like, hard. A little tap, flying. It's fucking insane how sensitive these boats are. But yeah, unless I get another set of boats or something else, I feel like at this point, once I do championship and I go through the same shit again with these new boats and I don't get anything new out of it and such, I feel like for the most part, we're just going to go to the other modes. And I feel we'll be almost done with the game at that point. I feel like there won't be that much left to do. However, it would be weird if there was only 10 tracks in this game. So I'm kind of expecting there to be 2 more tracks to unlock. And I kind of want to wait for the moment when that happens. I want to know when that comes into play. Right now, though, try my best here, trying to fight against the AI, trying to really get first. And as you can see, they're just jumping about to their turns. They are just being bullshit AI. And they're ramming the fucking walls. Like, they are just... They're not giving a single shit. They are going to fight me. But yeah, I do manage to get first in all of these, obviously. I do manage to win this shit. It's just the AI really unrelenting, and my victory here is pretty close even. Like under a second I had left. The AI was not giving. They were not giving in. They were going to make this a fucking miserable experience for me. And to make matters worse, yeah, fuck you, game, for that one. 10 milliseconds under mine. Okay, yeah, sure, third place. Fuck you. Alright, time for Australia. Level design and shit is fucked and boring, and I hate it. I hate what they did with Australia here. I hate that this is the worst track to me.
Ready?
Like, come on, you could have added something to this. You could have added a new shortcut to that little bit at the bottom there, instead of having to use that whole U-turn there. You could have changed the fucking track, but no, you didn't. You could have something over there, like a fucking tunnel or whatever that unlocks for us, but no, you didn't. Whatever, like... What matters here is getting through this with these boats, which, because the turning is just not being helpful to me with veering down anymore, like, I just stay up with these boats now. Because I'm not getting anything different. I'm not having better control when I veer down with these boats on Barracuda speed. Like, I might as well just stay upward if it's going to be nearly the exact same. Because veering my nose down isn't doing me any favors now. But the turning is still really slow, as if my nose is still up, so it's just not good. I bet there are people out there who are very surprised I'm actually putting all this effort in for this fucking game. But yeah, I just want to make this very clear that I always find it funny when I see a review for this game and it's always calling it the worst boating game out there. Like the worst fucking Hydro Thunder clone ever made. When in reality, there's far fucking worse. I think this game does things better than any of the other shit I've seen. Rapid Racer got super fucking repetitive and boring and shitty, while this one kept things fresh every now and then. You know? Fucking... the game that these developers made later, that one fucking game, was so goddamn boring. I forgot what his name was, because it's so boring I forgot the name of it. Aqua GT, that's it. Aqua GT is so fucking dull and boring and shit. And that was a game that they made after this one. They got worse. So yeah, it's just... I don't know what happened to these developers, because they had something here, but then they made Aqua GT, and that's where their story ends, with Aqua GT. And as we've seen, Aqua GT really fucking sucks, so... yeah, really big downfall there for Promethean, I think they were. Promethean or Prometheus. I forgot which one they were naming themselves as. But yeah, like, when we get the championship, there's not going to be too much I'm going to actually say with championship, because it's going to be the same shit again. The only difference is what I'm doing with it. So I'm showing everything, but it's going to be in parts. Like, it's going to be really parted up with that shit. Besides, you've already, at this point, really seen what's in store of all of this. You kind of have seen what this game is pulling here. I don't think you're missing out anymore after these two parts. I feel like championship, I can just cut the races each and just show you what you get for doing all of it. In case you're wondering, this does mean I'm going to be going through and doing the championship like 6 times with these new boats. It's gonna get dumb. And yeah, of course, fucking course, fuck you. And now comes Monaco, which is the most jarring thing to see. Because every time we do Monaco, the boats, my opponents, like 5 to 8 seconds behind me, they are far behind me. Even on Barracuda, they are far behind me. And we saw this. We saw this on the first time I did arcade on Barracuda for the other boats, and they were really far behind me. But as you can kind of see here, with these boats, technically same bullshit, but with just these boats in play. The AI is staying very closely behind me. The most I can get is 4 seconds behind. That's it. Like, it's fucking crazy that they are staying this far behind me now. After every other time we've gone through Monaco with the other boats, like, now with these boats and only these boats, does the AI actually try to stay up my ass in Monaco? They're not fucking up. They're not slowing down like they were beforehand. I think that really showcases how fucking frightening and douchey the AI is with these boats now. And in all honesty, I think we might have reached the absolute peak of how hard this game's going to be now. Unless the game throws something else into the fucking, you know, pot to really make things even worse, I think we've reached the peak. And because I've done beating this and, you know, won arcade now with these boats in Barracuda, I feel like if I can manage this, I can beat the rest of the game now. So, yeah. But now one other question remains. We unlocked mines, and so far with Championship, we always got mines after this. Does arcade make us do mines as well on Barracuda? Well, we're about to find out. Yep. Yeah, look at that. They stayed close. We got the mines. We got the large big engines. We already got that beforehand. And yes, we don't do mines. That is where arcade ends. So, arcade stays at 9. It's just the base levels we have here. It does not give us the unlockable level. It does not give us mines. That is how it ends. And unless the game gives me new boats again, which I don't think it will, because we've got the VR sports boat now, I don't think there's anything more it can give me. I think that we are done with arcade for good. So next time, we're doing Championship, in which in one whole video, you're going to see me do Minnow, Pike, and Barracuda, as well as Novice, Amateur, and Pro, throughout the entire thing, all these playthroughs, cut each. So yeah, get ready for that. But for now, thanks for watching, I'll see you all next time for all of Championship with the Catamaran boats with only VR Sports. I will see you then for that.